It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel Seedsman placed product to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com.
Heinrich going to step in back, little G-belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
It is absolute grand larceny what's happening.
Heinrich gets the snap, turns, gives it off, fakes the handoff, keeps it around the left side, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska. Heinrich Harburg off the left side for 6 points. Harburg under center, Fleeks is the deep back. Wide receivers left and right, turn. Back to throw, a play action look. Harburg going to take a shot downfield, has a man wide open. Malachi Coleman makes the catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Motion to the near side, they hand it off to Emmett Johnson. He's at the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Emmett Johnson's first career Husker rushing touchdown. It's now 30-14.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you, and welcome to our Husker football show for the week. Delighted to have offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield with us for the entire hour. If you want to fire off a text into the program, 402-413-2400. Happy Halloween. Little disappointed you didn't keep your costume on from last night. Mike Myers, is that who you were last night?
Jason Voorhees.
Jason.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite horror movie?
I was able to put a mask on and not say a word to anybody and act like I was a scary monster and just kind of take 30 minutes to sit there and watch all the kids going in and out. It was a pretty cool little event, though, that Miss Rule, Julie Rule, did last night. That was she never fails to amaze us with just the events and the coordination that she puts into these things. It was awesome. Our players were there. They got to see all the kids and interact and get trick-or-treats and act like kids themselves. So it was a good night, good start to the week.
Sure was. Well, congratulations on the win over Purdue, 31-14. A lot of things went well. I know there's things to clean up after every game, but your thoughts about the way the offense performed, particularly in that game on Saturday?
There's always, like you said, things that we have to clean up. Obviously, the one thing that we're at war with is turnovers and not turning the ball over. And, we're going to attack it relentlessly every day until we get it fixed. But especially, the majority of them are coming from the quarterback position, just, crazy things, dropping snaps, exchanges, just crazy stuff that can be easily handled if we take the responsibility of carrying the ball the right way. So, coming out of the game, you feel good that, your young wideouts, I'm really pleased with them and their development. We didn't throw it a lot, and they never wavered. They kept getting better and better as the game went on. Watching Malachi Coleman block on the perimeter is something else. Now those other two are watching him, and they're trying to, match his intensity. So it was fun to watch those guys play, how hard they played, and for Jalen to get the touchdown and for Jaden to get the third down conversion. I think that's a good sign for us moving forward in that room. I can't wait. We're going to look up in a year, from now and be like, holy cow, these some good players right here, and I think that it's huge that they're getting to play right now.
The story all week was having to replace 3 starters on the offensive line. All got hurt in that Northwestern game. How'd that group do?
They did well, and that was we were talking before the start, those defensive ends for Purdue were really talented and posed a lot of, problems for us. But our guys, they held up, worked as a unit, developed a nice little plan, our coaches did, to help them out a little bit in some pass protection with some, some chips and stuff. Ty Hahn and Alex were doing a masterful job as wideouts. They're going in there and knocking those guys around and helping with some pass pros. So I thought they did a really nice job, and I think that, could do at least some rushing yards out there. Just, some pressures happen and occur. They did, but I'm pleased with that group and their continual development, even though, with the ups and downs of injuries and guys moving in and out of spots.
It seems to me like you made it a conscious effort early in the season to give Henry some snaps. You gave Justin, got some in the jumbo package along with Teddy. That now pays off, right? Because they've been on the field and they've been out there.
Yeah, it's huge. The amount of jumbo that, those guys got to play, I think, was instrumental in them being able to go in, especially with Justin 2 weeks ago, going in and snapping a football and then going and playing guard.
Yeah.
I think that was huge for his, just his psyche to go out there and be able to perform the way he did.
Justin's, how do you feel about him if he has to go play center? How's he handled that part of it?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the hardest position to play, in my opinion, even more than quarterback, for what we ask those guys to do. I think he's ready. You know, I think we've gotten him tons and tons of reps. You know, the way that coach practices, we maximize everyone's reps out there. So he's got a lot of reps at center in the spring and in the summer, and then, you know, up until, you know, through the season. So I think he's ready. If his time, you know, if his number is called to go play center, he'll be ready to roll.
You mentioned some of the looseness with the footballs at the quarterback positions. I think Husker fans, though, have certainly learned that your quarterback's pretty tough. I mean, he took some hits last week, the week before. He's in the style we're playing right now, he's going to take hits, right? He's a tough kid, isn't he? Super
tough and super competitive. And, you know, he's fun to watch. He frustrates you at times because he's still, you know, very he's early on in his development playing quarterback. But, I mean, he'll run the proverbial brick wall. He'll run through the brick wall for this program, for this offense, for his teammates. He plays like that. And like you said, the style of offense that we're playing right now, I think he fits the mold for us for what we're looking at, you know, looking for in the quarterback position. He's now just got to do a better job of taking care of the football. And it's not even really bad decisions. It's just some crazy ball handling, ball security, you know, type things that we have to get fixed.
Where has he improved the most since you got here in January?
The confidence. I think the confidence and just the confidence and belief that he can play quarterback. You know, you hear him talking all the time when he first started. You know, calling himself, he said he wasn't a prototypical quarterback, and, you know, I got after him for that. Like, what is a prototypical quarterback? They come in all shapes and sizes. You know, he's got really good arm talent. You know, he's got an unbelievable mind. He's one of the smartest kids or young men I've ever been around. He loves the game of football. Everybody in the locker room knows who he is. He's got leadership. He can lead offensively, defensively, special teams because he knows everyone in that locker room. He doesn't just go and, you know, he's a social butterfly from that aspect, and that helps with the leadership part. You know, just like you said, just the toughness he plays with. I think that, you know, from where he was in the spring to where he is now, just the overall, just globally playing quarterback, snap counts, calling plays, understanding situations. Went from, you know, 4-minute when we fumbled at Illinois and he wasn't behind the ball carrier to you saw him in 4-minute the other day, chasing the ball, making sure if the ball did come out, he'd be there to jump on it. Just, you know, just layers and layers of development each and every day, each and every week.
The coach made the comment on Monday's presser. He goes, he's got to learn when to throw it away. And that's part of it, right, too? He probably wants to make a play. I'm not sure he saw the kid one of the times, but that's part of the growth, right? Knowing when to just toss it out of bounds and let's take the next snap.
Yeah, I have no idea how he didn't see it. I mean, the guy was right. Like, that's what we're asking. Like, how in the world do you – I mean, he's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best players on the field. And there's nothing – there's not like someone blocking him. He's just standing there. And so Heinrich was trying to motion and get Alex to turn up the sideline. He was trying to, on a scramble drill. And the guy got him pretty good, busted his lip up, and he's still, I asked him the other day, I was like, can you eat solid food yet? It looked like he'd have to eat out of a straw with his lip kind of busted up. So, but like you said, he's a tough kid, and he just, shrugged it off. Had to go in the tent for a second, shook the cobwebs off, and back out he came.
402-413-2400, the number if you want to fire off a text question for the coach, or if you want to do one in our chat room. Shane in our chat room wants to know why you've gone to the press box.
I was in the press box for a long time, and then last couple of years I went down on the field just to be around the quarterbacks. I've been around some quarterbacks I hadn't had for, a substantial amount of time, so just to be with them on the field, look them in the eye, make sure they're good. And just, I about did it 2 weeks ago, just to go up there and just kind of see everything, calm everything down, get away from the ruckus of the sideline, and just hit me. I didn't make a decision until like Friday. In the afternoon, Friday, around 5 o'clock, and I was talking to Coach. I was like, I think I'm going to the box. He's like, oh, because it's going to be cold? And I was like, well, subconsciously, no. But I think it's, it's better. I can see, Coach Rule's so unlike a lot of coaches, right? And, be careful what I say. And unlike a lot of coaches, he's got his hand on everybody in the program and has a relationship with everybody in the program. It's not like that everywhere. So yeah. I can go to the box, and the offense can be doing some weird stuff, and he can call them up and talk to them and make sure they're good and at every position or as a unit, and get things turned the right way. And so when you have that on the sideline as a coordinator, then you have no worries. Just go up there, see the game from a global perspective where it's calm, unemotional, and try to score some touchdowns.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the weather, if that factored into your decision. I heard the rumor that was going around the coaches' meetings.
Yeah.
Who becomes, besides Coach Rule, who's really valuable to you then down on the sidelines when you're upstairs? Is there somebody you lean on down there to go, hey, go convey this message for me? Or
Yeah, Coach Raola,
Yeah.
he's, his presence down there, really rely on him a lot to relay messages, but then just, I rely on him a lot. Hey, what runs do we want to get to? What are you seeing? How can we adjust this protection? So he's really good at seeing all that stuff. Have a lot of direct communication with him.
Crypto King in the chat room, Coach. What can be done to stop the turnovers? I know that you've been scratching your head on that.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I can only imagine. I grew up a college football fan, and my team would do stupid things like that, and it would drive me nuts. So it's driving us insane, and we're working at it to make sure it gets fixed. Like, we know that with our defense, if we don't turn the ball over, we have a chance to win any game that we play. And we just hate ourselves right now. We just keep putting it on the ground, and it's frustrating, but it's being addressed, and it's something that we're going to get fixed. Relentlessly working at it every minute of the day.
Denny in Omaha for you, Coach. Early in the year, Liebentritt played quite a bit and was effective. We haven't seen him much lately.
His role was, he was banged up a little bit with the elbow. And I think his role, will start to grow a little bit each and every week. He had a really good practice today. Just got out of the meetings this afternoon and was showing a clip of him blocking a defensive end today in one of our team periods and snapping the guy's head back. So he's getting healthy, and I think, his role will start, getting etched out in our offense as we finish out this season.
Yeah, he was out a couple games. He's been back maybe, I know he played
like
a
2
little
games,
bit Northwestern,
but
Purdue. Husker Mike over in Des Moines for you, Coach. What are some of the standard metrics that you and Coach Rule put in front of the offense per game, yards rushing, yards per rush, passing, third down conversions, et cetera?
We want to be anywhere from 42 to 46% on third down. That's winning third down. In today's football, we want to rush the ball for 200 yards. We want to rush the ball for 75 of that 200 in the fourth quarter. We want to score 70% touchdowns in the red zone, which we've got to get a lot better at that. And then, people all the time ask, being balanced, like, you've got to, ultimately, there's going to come a time in every single game where you have to run the football to win the game, and we want to be elite at that. And then there's going to be times where you're going to have to throw the football at an elite level to win the game, and at some point we've got to become elite at that. So, I don't know if that's the question. I don't know where that statement of mine just came from. I may have went off into another world, but the numbers I just gave you, those are the kinds of ones we look at offensively.
Okay. Going back to Liebentritt, that was a pretty good late find. He transferred back from Notre Dame, grew up in the Omaha area. Those are kind of nice little surprises, right? When you get somebody like that falls kind of into your lap.
No doubt. And he's such a great kid, or great young man, and is so smart. And, he's just a man, and you get those guys that are tough football guys with great brains and understanding. They can do a lot of things for you.
He was not, if I remember, he was not here during spring, right? You guys got him in the summer?
Yeah, he came like in June.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's obviously pretty bright to be able to pick the offense up pretty quick and help you out. He was out there, I think, week 1 we played up in Minnesota. He was playing games.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's played a lot of, been around some good football coaches at Notre Dame, and, he knows a lot of football. So it was an easy transition for him.
Jeff in Omaha for you, Coach. Does the offense spend more time working on your own things during the game week or watching opponent film preparing for what that defense does?
Early on in the week, we're trying to fix our issues, fix ourselves, and as the week goes on, like, today was first and second down, tomorrow's third down with a little bit of red zone, and Thursday we walk through and we kind of finish the red zone, short yardage, goal line, and then Friday we call it Fast Friday. We're back in pads, playing as fast as we can, not really hitting, but playing fast and going through our scripts and our plays and stuff. So this time of year, especially, towards the end, a lot of, you've been practicing a long time, so a lot of maybe slowing it down just a little bit, some walkthroughs and stuff help with the game plan later on in the week.
Folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. I was kidding you earlier about the weather. How much, as windy as it was Saturday, how does that factor into your play calling? Obviously, you had 2 quarters with a pretty strong wind at your back, and then you were going into that wind for a couple quarters.
It's huge. I mean, you walk out before the game, you try to figure out which way the wind is blowing. Sometimes it's swirling. You can't, there's not a direct path in which it is. So it's huge. Like, a lot of decisions of when you win when you win the toss or you lose the toss. Like, are you going to take the win in the first quarter and start fast, or are you going to take the win in the second quarter and know that you're in a 2-minute situation and may need it to kick a field goal, and then vice versa in the second half. So a lot of decisions are made on the wind. I think it just depends on whether you have the ball or not, or how you're playing offensively that day.
Would you have maybe hold a play like the one to Lloyd, one of the quarters you have the wind at your back, or can you have run that even going the other direction?
I think we could have ran it going the other direction, but we were very conscious, before the game. We knew we were going to run that play.
Yeah.
And just talking with Coach in the locker room, it was like, hey, don't hold it. We don't ever want to hold a play and maybe not get it called. He's like, but let's think about, when we're going away from the locker room, when we're going, towards the old locker room, that's when we'll have the wind at our back. So, whatever quarter that is, that'll be a good time to get that called.
Very good. Folks, keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. More with the coach coming up.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative.
I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program. I'm recruiting for the team, and I want it to be the finest team in America. I'm looking for someone like you to be a teammate's mentor, someone who is willing to reach out to a child and make a difference. Meeting with a student once a week at school can make an impact in their life and in the community. We want you to join our team. Go to teammates.org to apply today.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocopilla, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Carney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during Ram Power Days and save on the entire lineup of Ram trucks, like the new Ram 2500 and 2023 Ram 3500. Plus, right now, eligible business owners can save up to $8,500 off MSRP. Woodhouse Ram is bringing you more power, capability, and savings. Plus, 2 convenient locations in Blair and Bellevue. With approved credit, tax title license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 10/31/2023. See dealer for details.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Back inside our Acres Broadcast Center. Acres is the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our football show for the week. The offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield with us until the top of the hour. If you want to fire off a question for Coach, 402-413-2400. The last 2 games, Emmett Johnson has drawn the start at running back. How is he graded out?
He's doing well. He's one of the guys that we've really started to use in our third down, protections and 2-minute into game situations. And, he's just that reliable guy that, he's going to be exactly where he's supposed to be. Nothing flashy yet. I think he's got the potential to become flashier one day, but he's just going to carry the ball, protect the ball, and get yards.
Dustin out in Sydney, out in the Panhandle, says, Coach, we appreciate all your hard work. When you talk to recruits, what do you tell them about the future of our offense?
I think they just have to do the research. I mean, they can, we can tell them whatever we want to tell them. They just have to look back and see what it's looked like in the past. And I think understand that, if they come here, obviously, if you're a receiver, we want to throw the ball. If you're a quarterback, we want to throw the ball. We want to run the ball. We want to be athletic. We want to have offensive linemen that can pass protect and run block. We want running backs that can catch the ball, run the ball. We want tight ends that can do a little bit of everything. But you're looking at, I think this year you're watching a staff do whatever they need to do no matter what to win a game. And that's kind of what we prided ourselves on since we've been together, for over 10 years, is if it's rushing for 1 yard and winning 2-0 on a safety, we'll do that. If it's throwing for 400 and put up 50 points, we'll try to do that. But whatever it takes for us to win, we're going to figure it out and do it.
Not a bad thing to be leading the league in rushing.
No, that's good.
That's
again, it all comes back to take care of the football.
Right.
Right. just take care of the football.
You mentioned the tight ends. Thomas Fidone back in the end zone again this past week. It had been a few games since he'd scored a touchdown. How about his progress? Young man coming off a couple of knee injuries. Where's he at in his game in your eyes?
I think he keeps getting more confidence. I think early on that was the big hurdle, was just to get out there and play. And he hadn't played a lot of football. And coming off the two knees, just to prove that he could do it. And they were okay, and he could move and still be a mismatch athletically and size-wise. And I think after he made that catch at Colorado where he jumped up, and I think from that moment on, he just keeps getting better and better and better and developing more confidence. And no matter what we ask him to do, he does it, at a high level. I'm sure he would like to be catching 6-7 balls a game right now, but understanding how we're going to win football games, that may not happen, and he doesn't flinch. He comes out, gets his orders and goes and does them.
I remember that catch. He snagged that thing. It was a really impressive catch. That room obviously had a change with coaches right before the season began. How did that room handle that, and how do you feel like those guys are being taught and coached on a daily basis?
I think Coach Martin's done a tremendous job. It wasn't an easy situation to come into, but it's an opportunity for Josh, and I think he's answered the call. Got a great football mind. His dad's a football coach. He's been in football his whole life. Coached with some really good football coaches at the college level. So he's prepared for the position. We didn't skip a beat. I think those guys really accepted him early, and they've developed a camaraderie in that room, and developed a nice room in there with different personalities, and they continue to get better, and we continue to ask a lot of them.
We've seen a lot of Nate Borkature the last couple of years, but Luke Lindenmeyer's a guy that's really getting some significant snaps. What's the strength of his game?
He's a guy that can, initially thought would be more of a fullback type, but he's actually turned into more of an inline blocker. He does a really nice job of blocking 6 techniques and 9 techniques in some of our option plays and option packages that we have. So, he's developed a nice little role. We had a couple passes the last couple of weeks off those options that if we didn't throw the touchdown, he was completely nude. Just wide open. So his time's coming to catch some balls, I'm sure, down the road. But he's done a really nice job. Just, whatever he's asked to do, he does it, and does it at a high level.
Coach got asked this the other day, and I'm going to ask you this about the defenses in this conference. And I think some of it's the weather that you have to play in and week out. But you're 5 games into conference play now. Give me your assessment of the defenses you see week in and week out in this league.
Very stout, very sound, discipline. I think that they play really hard. I think they're trying to put this into the proper words. They're, like you said, you're going to be put in some tough environments, maybe from the weather or a stadium standpoint. You may be on the road. These guys are built to just make you grind out drives and make you, they're not going to give you anything. You got to go earn it. You got to go put 8 to 10 plays together, and that's hard for any offense to do. And just the quality of defensive line play in this league, I think, is at a very high level, like we were talking about with the Purdue's and the Northwesterns and all those guys at Illinois. Every team's got 2 or 3 NFL defensive linemen. It seems like every team has 2 linebackers that are in their 6th year this year that have played unbelievable amount of football. So they're just built. They're built tough, built smart, and they play really, really hard.
Yeah, Johnny Newton at Illinois is good football player. You talked about trying to sustain drives. How about a 15-play, 87-yard drive that took up almost 9 minutes Saturday? That's
perfect. If we could have about 5 of those a game and shorten the game to about 2.5 hours, that'd be great. But it was just it was the result. We talk about how can we become better on 3rd down. We got to be better on 1st down. And on that drive, we weren't. On that drive, we stunk on 1st down, and we converted 3 third downs. And the 3 third down conversions, 1 to Fleeks, 1 to Doss, and then 1 to Ty Hahn, were huge for us, for our psyche, just to get that accomplished, throwing the ball through the air and getting that done. I think, that was a good drive for us to, allow us to have kind of take a breath and move forward, with the rest of the game.
8 minutes and 52 seconds. My, that's incredible. Buckle up, folks. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. You have mentioned the name Ty Hahn twice tonight. Would that have surprised you 6 months ago that he would be having this kind of a role in this offense?
Yes and no. When I first got here, and you watched him in spring ball, I thought he would always have some role in this offense and play and be a guy that could go and give you 10 to 15 snaps maybe if needed at any position because he knew every position. I think it's cool that when his number has been called, he's answered. And, anytime a ball's been in his area, he's called it. He's blocking at a high level. He's playing special teams at a high level. So I'm not surprised by that. I'm glad when I see him run on the field. I'm confident that things are going to get done. And, even today at practice, he made a huge play, an unbelievable play, when we were competing against the defense. So, he just keeps, again, he's like anybody else, human nature. The more you play, the more plays you make, the more confidence you get, you're going to be better. So I'm anxious to see how he continues to grow throughout the end of the year.
He had one of those catches on that third down on that long drive we were talking about earlier to keep that drive down near the goal line.
That was crucial.
And he does things on special teams, too, which if you're going to play for the Huskers and this staff, you better be ready to play special teams, right?
Yeah, you have to. And, that's the key to any great team is have your good players on special teams. And we're not going to set them on the sideline and play the freshmen and the guys that, don't play a lot on offense and defense. Like, if you can help us win on that unit, you're going to be on the field.
All right, time for this week's Alumni Hall. Husker football alum, since Coach Satterfield's with us tonight, handles the Husker quarterbacks. We thought we'd focus on a Husker quarterback alum, Tommy Armstrong.
2nd down and 6 from the 34. Armstrong in the shotgun. Gets a snap. Looks right. Now he's going to take off and run. Tommy to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Armstrong in there. Touchdown, Nebraska.
And we're delighted to have Tommy part of our team here on the Huskers Radio Network. You'll hear him on Husker Game Day this week with Ben McLaughlin. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com, Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. We're back with more with the coach coming up.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Both farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative. Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-tamed 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
There's room at the table and more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear.
Live reports of polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hutmaker here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraskachiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Get more for what you grow with CVA for a limited time. Be entered to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation. Coach Satterfield with us till the top of the hour. You want to be a part of it with a text, 402-413-2400. A text from down in Kansas, Colby, Kansas. Bruce, Coach, can you talk about what it has been like for you to work with Coach Rural, and what are some things you maybe have learned to help you out in the future from the coach?
I've known Coach Rural since 2006.
Wow.
We were both assistants at Western Carolina FCS school in Western North Carolina. So I've known him a long time, worked with him the whole time at Temple and then at Baylor and then with the Panthers. So I've been with him a long, long time. I can finish a lot of his sentences and I know what he's thinking. He can look at me and I can say, you don't even have to yell at me. I know what you're thinking.
I know where you're going.
And I know where you're going with this. I learn every single day from him. That's one of his superpowers. Is he not only develops players, he develops coaches, and he is a master at getting the most out of every player and every coach that he has in the organization. And it never ceases to amaze me. Every single day, I'll learn one thing from him and just scratch my head like, how in the world did he know that, think of that, or mind trick me into doing that? So he's a special coach, special human, and I'm glad to be associated with him.
Greg in Elkhorn. Coach, give me your thoughts on going either out of the shotgun on short yardage situations or working under center.
We would love to be under center most of the time. I get the whole adage of it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 and you're 5 yards back, and I get all that stuff. Football's changed a little bit. The other night on 4th and 2, we'd run a play that we'd been successful all year on, kind of a quarterback overload power play, where we had an extra blocker and we didn't execute it when we needed to on 4th and 2. But most of the time, if it's really short, would love to be under center. But sometimes, your strengths are getting in the gun and creating angles and reads and reading people.
Dorothy Lynch, home-style light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Also had someone in the chat room wanted to get an update on Chubba Purdy. How's he doing?
Doing great. Chubba's awesome, one of my favorite guys in the room. Again, his personality and my personality are very similar, so we have a lot of fun in the meeting room, picking on Heinrich and those guys and picking on Jeff. So he's doing well. He keeps practicing hard, and at some point, like I've told all three of them, we're going to need all of the guys in this room to help us win a game at some point this year. So stay locked in and stay ready, keep learning, and be ready to roll.
Coach has said several times during the fall that he'd have no problem putting Chubba into a tight situation and feels like he could be successful.
I agree. If you said, hey, Chubba's going in, I wouldn't flinch, would not think twice about it.
Another question, Coach, are you going to be up in the booth again this week?
For sure, yeah. Until the unforeseen future or whatever, I'm going to be in the booth.
So it's you and Coach McGuire upstairs, the two of you, and then Coach Raiola, Coach Barthel, and Coach... Who else is down?
Coach Martin.
Coach Martin are down. Yep. They're all three down.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, Michigan State, we haven't talked much about the Spartans. Let's talk about this team that has not yet won a league game. They've been in position to win some games. They had a lead in the fourth quarter at Rutgers, couldn't hang on. I think they led in Iowa City fairly late and could not hang on. What about the challenge you face on Saturday?
Like any this time of year in this league like the Big Ten, it's never going to be easy. No matter who you're going to play or where you're going to play, home or away, it's always going to be a tough matchup. You watch these guys, if you just watch cut-ups, like we do a lot of times, you wonder how they're not, 6-2 right now. The scoreboard will flash and they're up by 2 touchdowns, they're up by a touchdown, they're physically, handling the opponent at the time. And it's hard to imagine that they've not won more games, but they're very, very, very tough defense. Like we were talking at the break, their strength is their D-line. And it's not as much edge D-line as it is interior D-line that we got to be, aware of where certain people are at all times, especially on third downs. Very active. They have a linebacker that's played for 5 years. And he makes a lot of plays, may not be flashy, but has an unbelievable nose for the football, makes a lot of tackles. He's one of those guys, if the ball gets deflected, he intercepts it. He's always in the right place. So it's going to be a challenge, going up there and just, we have small goals in mind, and that is, number one, take care of the football, run the football, and win third downs. And those are 3 things that we're going to focus on and take with us on the trip to see if we can get it done.
Have you been a part of a situation, not exactly like theirs, but where the head coach has already been dismissed and kind of a lame duck staff? Obviously, your football team that you inherited here went through that last year for Nebraska football. Have you been a part of that, and how challenging do you think that has been for that staff to kind of try to hold things together?
Never personally been involved in anything like that. I can't imagine how hard it would be in today's world. Like maybe in 1985, the kids were still playing for the good of the program, and just they look beyond that and play for whatever. But in today's world, like with all the different things pulling these kids away, all the information that they hear, it's hard to keep them focused. And I can't imagine trying to do that with a staff that they don't know early on if that's going to be their coaches moving forward, and then eventually knowing it's not going to be their coaches, to have the discipline to listen to them. And I bet it would be hard. Never been a part of it.
Hope you're not.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You played a Northwestern team 2 weeks ago in a similar situation, and there's no way you question their fight because they certainly fought hard here, and then they go beat Maryland last week. Do you see indications at all that Michigan State's given up? Are they still fighting hard? What does the tape show when you watch them play?
I don't think they show no signs of giving up. I don't watch anything that they do offensively. It's just defensively. They play so hard, and those guys up front get a great pass rush. Linebackers run to the football. You got a couple DBs with some interceptions, instinctual players. You can tell just watching them play that that they're very creative and they use their instincts when they're playing on third down. Just the angles that they create, it's pretty cool to watch. So I don't think they're going to give up, and I hope they don't. We want to go play the best Michigan State team that they got.
Do you learn more watching them play somebody you've already played, or
not? I mean, they played Minnesota. They played Minnesota last week. We played them. They played Michigan 2 weeks ago. We played them. Does it matter when you go study to see them play somebody you have faced or not?
Not really, no. I would love to say yes and give you a nice little answer on that, but not really. It's just, the next week, the next opponent, nameless, faceless opponents, and just watch the tape, see what they do, and try to figure out a way to attack it.
Very good. Hey, Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with some final thoughts from the coach coming up next.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit newnordicusa.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Happy Halloween to everybody out there tonight. And if you're out trick-or-treating right now, be safe. It's getting dark, so be careful of those little trick-or-treaters running around the neighborhood. Coach, got a question about how much misdirection do we have in our run game? Is that something that you consciously think about, trying to get early on in games to do some of that?
Oh, I think we have a lot. You see a lot of the jet motions and that you see on Sundays. But we utilize a lot of. Coach Earl is masterful at creating different box counts and different angles on linebackers by utilizing the motions and stuff. So we rely on that pretty heavily, and hopefully we continue to do so. It kind of opens up things. When you had Billy a couple weeks ago, there was like 2 games in a row off of jet sweeps and stuff that we handed him the ball and scored touchdowns. So that's something that obviously is everybody uses it, and it's great, and we got to continue to use it as well.
Somebody in the chat wanted to know if there's some certain NFL offense you like to watch and maybe steal some things from.
I mean, I love watching the NFL. It's unbelievable. I love watching it every Sunday. You know, just there's about 6 or 7 different families of offenses in the NFL. I love all of them. You can pull something from everybody. You know, obviously when they're on fire, I love watching, you know, McVay and those guys with the Rams. I think they do. You know, Shanahan with the 49ers run game, I think is unbelievable what he does in the run game. And now having Chuba and, you know, and Brock. Like, I've never gotten to speak to Brock. I keep asking, can I please talk to Brock and ask him questions, and he won't let me. But, you know, I like those two guys. Love watching those offenses.
Very good. All right, Huskers heading on the road. Your last road game was a good one, the one at Illinois. Coach Rural, I think, really relishes the ability to go on the road and go win football games. How big of a challenge is it for you, and how much do you get a kick out of heading down the road?
It's great to, you know, it's great to play here at Memorial, and it's also fun to get away, and you're kind of just you and the guys, right? And you get to the hotel, you eat, you're together in a time where you don't get to do a lot of face-to-face stuff like that. You're together with your team and with your players and with your coaches, and you go to a movie, and you watch movies, and you come back, and you make fun of the movie, and you talk about it, and you eat some ice cream and go up and you hang out in some coaches' rooms and just, you know, watch the game that's on that night, get a good night's sleep for the first time of the week, wake up and go play a game. And it's kind of fun to be on the road and kind of get away, and, you know, there's not many distractions out there.
You put a lot of work in to get to November to have big games on the line, and this team has been able to do that. 4-way tie for first in the Big Ten West right now. There's going to be more and more tension with each passing week that goes by. How do you try to tell the guys, just keep focusing on what's the next game up for us? How big a challenge is that?
Yeah, I think that, again, that's Coach Rule. That's one of his superpowers is we literally, there's times where you forget who in the world you're playing. Like, I mean, it's just, we are a what's next organization, and a lot of people say that, but we live it. You know, it's just, what can we do to have the best Tuesday practice? What can we do to have the best Tuesday afternoon meetings? What can we do to have the best Wednesday night practice? Like, we literally operate like that, and I think that's a key, you know, just to maintain the focus of what's important, of making sure we're our best us before we get on that plane on Friday. But, you know, like you said, that's awesome that you have something to play for this time of the year, you know, and it keeps the focus there. But our guys are locked in to just, you know, we have practice tomorrow night. It's third downs. How can we try to beat the defense on third downs, you know, when we do team compete to start practice?
Where did you say you like to be third down percentage-wise? Mid-40s?
Yeah, like 42 to 45. Okay. If you're elite, you're probably, you know, in the upper 40s, maybe even 50.
And I think you did that last week.
We were close. We were like 43%, I believe, last week. Getting better, chip away at it.
Check that box.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. All right, well, have a good week of practice. I think it is going to warm up a little bit. I know you guys were really chilly out there today, but you're going to plan this stuff, so you got to practice in it, right? You can't just go inside all the time.
No, we were out there all day today. We didn't go inside one time, so, you know, we got some great work in the cold weather and the quarterbacks, receivers, and the ball handling with the running backs, so that was good for us.
Were you in shorts?
I was not in shorts.
You were
that
not.
Was Coach Rule was in shorts.
Crazy man.
Yep.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Happy Halloween.
All right, thank you.
Coach Marcus Satterfield with us here on our Husker Football Radio. Our Huskers will take on the Michigan State Spartans on Saturday. 11 o'clock kickoff will be on the air with Husker Game Day at 7 a.m. We have a full hour of Sports Island on the other side. We're going to get into a practice report. We're going to hear from Coach White, the defensive coordinator, and Coach Foley, special teams coordinator. Met with the media earlier today. We'll hear clips from both of those. And looking forward to seeing Cole's fancy hat coming up next hour here on Sports Island.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program. I'm recruiting for the team, and I want it to be the finest team in America. I'm looking for someone like you to be a teammate's mentor, someone who is willing to reach out to a child and make a difference. Meeting with a student once a week at school can make an impact in their life and in the community. We want you to join our team. Go to teammates.org to apply today.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, defensive coordinator Tony White spoke with the media about a variety of different topics. One of those topics was about always meeting the standard.
You know, you're always learning as well that it's the standard of play versus the result. You know, and so many times everybody gets fixated on the results, you know, and it's believe me, it's great to win and all that stuff, but what happens is you neglect those things that'll get you beat, you know, later on down the line or against better opponents. So we're always looking at the standard of play, because I think that when that takes precedence over the results, you'll be happy with the results more than not, right? But the young men, they saw it and they said, yeah, they agreed with it, and so had a big emphasis today on the standard, you know, meeting the standard versus don't worry about the results.
More from Coach White and Special Teams Coordinator Ed Foley in a little bit. Earlier today, Top Drawer Soccer in the United States Coaches poll, top 25 polls came out, and both polls had the Huskers soccer team at 15th overall. Nebraska plays in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament against Wisconsin Thursday at 4 in Columbus, Ohio. That game can be watched on the Big Ten Network. The first college football playoff rankings were released earlier tonight. Ohio State was first overall, followed by Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State. Washington and Oregon are just on the outside looking in. World Series Game 4 between the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks is scheduled to start in just a couple of minutes. The Rangers lead that series 2-1, but are without slugger Adolis Garcia tonight as he's out with an oblique injury. The D-backs will look to tie the series up tonight at home. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Harburg under center, Fleeks is the deep back. Wide receivers left and right, turn. Back to throw, a play action look. Hyberg going to take a shot downfield, has a man wide open. Malachi Coleman makes the catch. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Yeah, it's outside center, Nebraska. Baden Horse, kaboom! Oh, waking babies all over Evanston. Wow, emphatic.
Now back to the near side comes A.J. Hennig. Sullivan gets the snap, back to throw, pumps, gets rushed, gets hit, throws down. Then a sack. Pulled down again by Nash, his second sack of the game, all the way back at the 30-yard line.
Could this be the match? And here's the call. Net violation, we're done! Nebraska defeats Wisconsin. They did it! Call the grandkids. Nebraska takes down mighty Wisconsin. A second deuce game, and they love it in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to Sports Nightly Hour number 2. Jessica Coody in-house. For those of you that are watching on the YouTube stream, you see our wonderful costumes provided to us by Jim in Columbus. For those of you listening to the radio, use your imagination. I have a terrific cowboy hat with spiders adorned all over it, and you are a witch.
And what I love, too, they put Starburst on it. I mean, that could not be more perfect for you, but, hey, you pull off the cowboy hat well. I've got a witch hat. It cuts off the camera. You can't even see it, the full scope of it. But, yeah, we shout out Jim in Columbus. They're like, customized hats. We've got another
Names
one over
on
here.
Yep.
I'm going to switch it out every other break, so.
And Camden had kind of a Bob Devaney fedora hat that had candy and spiders on it.
Yes, and it was made for Cole, but Cole was so kind to let Camden wear that during the ticker because he was thought this other one was a little too heavy. It's got like cockroaches and spiders on it, so I'll put that one on here in just a little bit.
Did you enjoy trick-or-treating growing up? I did. Had a blast with it.
I didn't really. I liked handing out the candy. But I wasn't like I didn't love like going out and asking for candy all the time, no.
You're missing. I went to we had a Halloween party that Amy, my wife, and I went to the other night. And we went with the insurance theme. I was Jake from State Farm.
Okay, so that's pretty easy. Khakis in a red polo.
Yeah, red polo, and I had a little headset that I borrowed from here.
And everybody's like, well, you're not the right skin color for Jake from State Farm. But the original Jake was the guy that took the phone call from the guy in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And the wife comes down the stairs, goes, who are you talking to, Jake? And she gets on the phone, Jake. And he goes, yes.
Yeah.
And she goes, what are you wearing, Jake? Khakis. So I had khaki pants on. And my wife went as Flo.
Oh, nice.
From Progressive, so the black hair and the...
Nice.
Yes, so, yeah,
That's awesome.
Had a good time. That was fun. I like Halloween. I enjoy Halloween. And Jim, thank you.
You know, so we've got Searles. I recorded a podcast with Searles. And
he's probably trick-or-treating with his
Yes,
kids
they
tonight.
get into it every year. They have all kinds of... And one year, I think we showed the pictures of it, but he went as like Fairbury hot dog. He was handing out Fairbury hot dogs. And but they kind of do a family theme. So they're like a knight and a princess and a king and a queen. And so, yeah, they've got all the great costumes, but I can't even remember the last time I dressed up.
Well,
I mean, I guess a year ago when I wore the red wig
on the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Jim, you nailed it this year. These are great. These are
you
fantastic.
were like, you FaceTime me when you opened up the box, and you were like excited about your hat.
I mean, Cole's here, the box. We gotta see it. We gotta be as a team. Open the box up last week. And
funny.
Open the phone lines, Cole, and maybe get some reaction of our costumes tonight. 402-413-2400. Great to have the offensive coordinator. What?
I just looked at the video of you in the cowboy hat, and it's just.
Texas in town. Here we go.
Oh my gosh!
Great to have Coach Satterfield last hour, and I don't know that it's really, he's had to really adapt. I mean, he doesn't have the personnel at all that he thought he was going to have even 2 months ago with all the injuries to that offense. And I think that they've kind of found their way. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you heard him say that. It's a staff that's just doing whatever they can to win. However they need to piece it together, they will, just with so many guys that were in and that they were building things around, then went out. And then, as much as we can say that Heinrich and Jeff are similar quarterbacks, they're different. And they had to do things differently with Heinrich than they were going to do with Jeff. And, you have some freshman wide receivers that are, yes, very, very talented, but still it's different asking them to pass protect or go block for a running back and all the things that come along with the physicality of playing at this level. And, just knowing all the different play calls, and then not to mention, hey, your number one, number two running backs go down. It's just been, and now the offensive line, they just had to keep changing things up and just whatever they can do. And, I know a lot was made of him going up to the booth, but I think that was a big part of it. And a lot of this staff wanting to be on the sideline so that they can communicate with those players being the first year, but especially on the offensive side, being that really it was kind of really quickly to start the season, how many young players they were having to rely on and be able to communicate with. I think it's just easier. They'll put the headsets on and they'll send guys over to talk, but it's just different when you can have that real close contact and that interaction with players and be able to really immediately see what they say as opposed to playing telephone from the booth to somebody wearing the headset, then to the players. So I think that's why you saw so many guys on the sideline, so many coaches, when typically you do see more in the booth. But I think probably they're starting to feel more comfortable and have more trust in their guys, that now that they have more faith in being able to go up there in the booth and feel more comfortable up there.
I thought one of the really good questions we had during the hour was, what are you telling recruits what you want to run? What do you want the offense to look like? Because I'm not sure what we're seeing now is really what they want it to be next year or 2 years from now. I thought that was a great question. He just said, we're going to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
We want to be able to throw the ball. We want to run the ball. We want to block, tackle, all those things.
And I think the great offensive coordinators tailor that to what your strengths are of the offense and what do you need to do for an entire team. Because sometimes offensive coordinators just want to go about, well, what do we want to run? But no, it's about the defense too. So what is the best offense for this team? And then what is the best with the personnel that we've got? And, you go back to, he was the offensive coordinator last year at South Carolina with Spencer Rattler, who's one of the top quarterbacks and in terms of draft prospects and how he can throw the football. And so you have a quarterback there that's less of a dual threat. He's not really a runner like what the guys are here. But then you saw the way the offense got going at the end of the season. And Rattler's a guy that wants to throw it down the field and that's his strength. And, you know, that's what Satterfield did. He built the offense and tweaked the offense around that quarterback. And so, yeah, it's about what do you have in your building, in your program that gives you the best chance to win, and then also that complements the defense the best.
All right, last hour, Cam that had it in the ticker, the first college football rankings came out. Ohio State won, and that's well-deserved. They've played a really tough schedule. They go win at Notre Dame. They beat Penn State, so they have played two really good football teams, and they won them both. They're 8-0. Georgia's 2. That might surprise some people. They're the two-time defending national champs. They haven't lost, but they haven't been overly impressive in some of their games. Michigan's 3, and I think that's more than fair. They just have not played really anybody in that upper echelon of teams yet this year. Their big games are to come with Penn State and Ohio State. Florida State's number 4. Washington is 5, and I think that was the debate. Could an undefeated Pac-12 team jump into that top 4? The answer right now is no. They're 5. Oregon is 6. Texas 7. Alabama 8. Oklahoma 9. Ole Miss 10. Penn State out of the Big Ten is at 11. And that does it. That's all for the Big Ten in the top 25. Your reaction to the first playoff poll?
I mean, I see this, I think, every time. There's so much that's going to unfold, and a lot of these teams are going to play each other, and I just don't put a lot of stock in, you know, watching these every week or investing in. But for right now, they've got it right, I think. I think it's pretty dang close to being how it should be. And, you know, having the 2 of the Big Ten teams, and again, those 2 teams will play each other.
Yep.
So probably one of those will fall out. I don't know. The 2 of them got in last year, depending on how everything else unfolds. But I think for me, I think they got the top 4 right.
So you're okay that Washington's not in there, even though they beat Oregon, have a really good win. You're right. There's just so much to happen between now and then. It probably doesn't really matter in the grand scheme, but if I'm Washington, I'm kind of going, would have loved to have been in the top 4, because then you can only usually probably keep going up.
But Washington still has opportunities to do that.
They do.
And they're going to be probably playing for the Pac-12 title and have a chance, right? Will they be?
Well, right now they're in first place in the Pac-12, and they may be headed for a rematch with Oregon. That was a tremendous football game, by the way. You picked the Ducks in that matchup. And remember, Oregon had the lead and went for it at midfield late in the game, got stuffed. Washington went down and took the lead late in the game. I think the Pac-12,
they're the surprise conference of the season.
Agree. They deserve one of the 4, in my eyes. The Pac-12 should get, when it's all said and done in a month, I think the Pac-12 needs to have one of the top 4 spots.
Yes. I think right now probably what they're banking it on is, I mean, how many times do we have this conversation about the name recognition carries something in these discussions? Do they not?
They do.
The Ohio State and Michigan carries more weight than a Washington. And at this point, I think probably I'm not in those discussions, and so it's going to change, and we're going to see different things, different outcomes, completely move this thing around. But I think for now, I think probably people think, well, it's hard not to put Michigan in there with how physical they are and how complete of a football team they are.
And they've been dominant.
Yes, they have, and they're on both sides of the football. They're a very complete football team. And then with Ohio State, again, that's a team that's been in this conversation for how many years now, and they're starting to hit their stride. They've got some guys back. It's just with the talent level there, I think it just is going to give people that push to vote them in there. And then you can't leave Georgia out. So to me, I think the 3 are no-brainers at this point. Until Ohio State and Michigan play each other, the top 3 are no-brainers.
Very good.
So I just don't think you can leave any of those guys out right now.
So that came out. There'll be weekly updates on that as we get through the month of November. And then obviously championship Saturday, and then the playoff will be set. This is the last year. This is it for 4. We go to 12 in a year. I think it's going to be amazing.
I'm excited.
I think it's going to be incredible.
I'm excited, but it's going to be interesting how these conversations start to change in a year, because, you know, right now the goal for a lot of teams is you want to get to that conference championship game and, you know, to be able to solidify a spot in the college football playoff. But moving forward with the more spots available it might not be in your best interest to play another football game.
Right? Sit it out, and if you're like 11-1 and you didn't make it, or 10-2, sit back and wait for a bunch of upsets to happen on a Saturday. All right, the fascinating world of college football. We're going to have a practice report. We'll hear from Coach Tony White, the defensive coordinator, and Ed Foley, the special teams coordinator, met with the media today because we had the offensive coordinator here for an entire hour tonight. So we'll hear some clips from both of those. Cole has been busy putting those things together for us to hear some of those clips coming up here in a few minutes. And phone lines, text lines, open for you, 402-413-2400. Happy Halloween, everybody. We're back with more of the show coming up.
Drive with purpose and arrive in style when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy. With advanced capabilities and safety features, the Chevy lineup puts you in a position to upgrade your ride and keep moving with confidence. Choose from a variety of models equipped with a spacious, detail-focused interior and distinctively modern exterior. Purchasing your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy is an easy choice. Shop our current offers and inventory today and find new roads in-store or online with Woodhouse Chevy.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Get ready again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's room at the table and more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pig 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pig 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pig 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
I can't deal with you right now. Like, you got a pirate patch on.
I do have
face.
a pirate patch on. As we welcome you back inside the Acres Broadcast Center, Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. 402-413-2400. Let's go to the phones. We'll head out to Wyoming. And Bob, good evening. Bob, welcome to Sports Nightly.
Hey, guys. Everything this coaching staff has said and done since from the beginning, everybody was, especially in spring ball, what did everybody say? What has this got to do with winning? Guess what, guys? It's got a lot to do with winning. This coaching staff had been awesome. I will say this. I worked at the university 2 years ago, started in the weight complex. I left in March doing the locker room, cleaning the locker room for this football team. And these coaches, and not only the players were coming in early, and not only the weight coaches were coming early, but the coaches themselves were coming in early, real early in the morning. And, what they have done, what they have put together, it's just amazing. And we're seeing the results. When was the last time we went 3 conference games in a row? You got to go clear back to Bo Pelini, okay? And they got a chance to do one more.
It's going to be
one at a time.
You bet.
Let's take care of business with Michigan State, and then we'll look forward. Not going. It used to be. It's like okay, we can do this and this and this. No, Michigan State. Let's take care of that. Let's stack it.
Preach.
And then we'll go to the next one. Then
Preach.
We'll see where we're at the end of the year. But you know what? I love it. I listen to you guys. I don't even pay attention with the television. I'll tell you that right now. I don't pay attention to television. I don't like those national announcers. I listen to it on my sports app, my Husker app on the phone or my laptop on Huskers.com, and listen to you guys broadcast the games. Because you guys know what it's about, not them. They come in just for a weekend. How do they know about what's going on? You guys have the insight. Not only that, but you guys are honest about it when, oh, I think, we got by with one, or, or that was bogus, I love it.
Bob,
And,
appreciate it. Bob, appreciate it. Thanks for the call. We got to get some practice clips in here. I love Bob. I love when he calls into Big Red Reaction. He is infectious, his excitement and attitude, and I appreciate all the nice comments to us as well. Love that stuff.
What's great, too, is that we can name people. We try to, get their names as their frequent callers, and he's in parentheses, party starter. That's why I was like, come on. I was waiting for him. He was kind of subdued there at first.
He got going.
But then he got going. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to bring it.
His calls in Big Red Reaction are legendary. Love it. Bob, appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, and can't wait to hear you on Saturday with Coat and Zach Potter on the program on Saturday afternoon. All right, time, I believe, for us to get into a practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
All right, practice reports tonight. 2 coordinators, defense, special teams. We'll start defense. I believe Cole says we're going defense first. So Tony White met with the media today. This defense has been remarkable in the fact that they have been so good on what they call those quick changes. That's after a turnover or when you're not expected to go back out there, you have to quickly grab your helmet, go back out there, and try to defend. And sometimes it's your goal line, and how often they have shut that team down. Here's Coach White talking about why that has been so successful.
I think that's just the standard around there. That's an opportunity to play ball, and I think a lot of the times the process. Again, we talk about the process early on. It was kind of a deal where it's like, hey, what's going on, and then there's an education that comes to it. You know what I mean? That we got to do our part regardless. And I think it goes back to them believing that it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how. When it's our time to go play ball, we go play ball, and it's kind of cool because, you don't feel that energy. You don't feel that, oh man, what are you doing? You feel that, hey, we get to go on the field and play, so let's go play. And that's a testament to the guys, buying into everything that's going on and the process of and just understanding that, hey man, the game happens. That's part of it. Let's go do our part.
They believe. There's so much belief and buy-in, and I think they thought it was going to work, but then they saw, okay, it happened in Minnesota, and you saw it grow throughout the game, and then you see it at Colorado for the first half, the way that they were able to slow down, but then it just every week more and more, and they just have so much confidence. It's so different when you watch teams on the sideline that believe wholeheartedly in everything that they're doing and that what the coaches are telling them to do and how hard it's been, and then you see it pay off, and then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. And so, I go back to the conversation with Isaac Gifford, Cornhusker conversation, and I said, when did you, because Coach Rule has talked a lot about how he's been bought in and he believes. I said, but when did you believe? And he goes, it wasn't until the end of mat drills. And we've heard how hard the mat drills was. And I realized that, okay, I understand, I 100% believe, and I understand why he's doing this and why they're doing this, and it's all out of love, and they want the best for us. And so I think, and then when you start seeing that kind of stuff pay off, it's just the more and more belief, and they'll run through brick walls for their position coaches. They'll run through a brick wall. I want to run through a brick wall for those guys because the way that they have those guys believing, it is absolutely genuine, and I watch it every single Saturday. I'm telling you, it's the truth. They believe, they bought in, and whatever they got to do, they're going to do it.
I'm going to still point to the goal line stand in Illinois, where I think this defense goes, we can do anything we need to do. And I think from that moment on, they have just been so hard to score on.
Yeah.
I know Purdue ended up with 14 points, but only 7 of that was on the defense.
Well, and how about, too, you're sitting there like, gosh, the defense, they're so good, but then every week, well, no, we weren't good enough on third downs. It's a little bit like the volleyball team, right? They're number 1 in the country, they're 21-0, and yet they're still finding lots of things that they're not playing their best, which is, now's not the time you want to be playing your best. You want to be peaking, right? And so I think for the football team, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, we can say we did a lot of good things, but there's still lots of things that we can still do better.
All right, Michigan State has not won a conference game. They've come close. They had a tight one at Rutgers and at Iowa. They had chances to win.
Here's Coach White talking about what kind of challenge the Sparty offense will be on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, they're more explosive than you think they are. I get again, this goes back to the results versus the standard you watch. I got a lot of respect for that running back. I remember at my last school there, he was a running back there, and he was a dynamic player. You know, he's a really, really good player, runs hard, all that stuff. They got a really big offensive line. You know, they got 2 tight ends that one of them is a really powerful blocker, and then the other one plays on the basketball team. I mean, give me a break. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, so he's athletic, he's hard to cover. They got some really skilled wide receivers, and I get that they're finding the answer at quarterback, but you know, they're up against Iowa going into the fourth quarter. They're kicking Rutgers' butt, you know, going into the fourth quarter. So we got to do our part. I mean, we're going to prepare to see their very best, you know, but it comes down to us living up to our standard. You know what I mean? Making sure we know what we're doing, knowing how to do it, and then having, again, the right attitude about this game. You know, Coach said something awesome. He's talking about being in this position for the first time, where November matters. You know what I mean? For these guys, November matters. So now, again, this is another learning experience for this group, right? So. It'll be fun to watch.
It is. It's a different feeling. I mean, you know, this is my 3rd season here, but at Oklahoma, it was once you got to November, man, things amped up. You start seeing things unfold and the potential of what could be. And yes, while you still want to take it 1 week at a time, it's a long season. And so then when you get to November and start seeing like some of these bigger goals that you have in mind are attainable, it amps it up a lot. And just for this team to have done what they've done, and you know, it would have been easy to be like, oh, we're frustrated at the beginning, but they've locked in. Even after Michigan, they were frustrated, but they came back, they keep fighting, they bounce back, and here they are. They've taken care of business, and they put themselves in a position to still have a lot to play for here heading into November, which not a lot of teams get the chance to do.
That's exactly right. And I said this to Coach Satterfield last hour. I said, you put in all this work to get to November to have big games.
Yeah.
You've done that by winning 5 of the last 6. All right, let's go to special teams. Ed Foley, he has not been in front of the media for quite a while, not since back in the August camp session. We'll start with a comment he had about Tristan Alvano making that 55-yard field goal, about what went into the decision to let him go try from that distance, and the confidence that now Tristan has after making a long one like that.
He's confident. I mean, the moment's not too big for him, and I think the one last week, Northwestern, the 47-yarder to come in and hit that one, I think led to the 55. So when Coach turns to me, you know, we start off the day with a marker for like kind of where the success rate is on those kicks, and you know, we put it there. But it's not really a distance issue. It's just a consistency issue. So we just got to, you know, like any freshman player at any position, you got to develop a consistency in the routine and making sure that, you know, the balls are going down the middle enough times. But he has the leg range, and we had a little bit of wind going that way. So I can't remember. I think the goal that way was like 30 or whatever, the 30-yard line. But you know, Matt looked at me and I said, "Yeah, you give him a shot," because we had a good favorable wind, and he was amped up.
It was cool too. I mean, I had said this last night. I think that it was one of the loudest cheers in the stadium. But also just the way that the sideline reacted. There's just, and Searles and I dove into this too. There's just nothing. I mean, there's a lot of things that can really change some momentum and add to some momentum and really bring some juice to a sideline. And a big special teams play, like a 55-yard field goal, can bring some juice to a sideline. The way that those guys reacted after that, and even with Tristan, he is calm, cool, collected. I mean, Damon Benning knows best. He coached him in high school and knows him really well, and so we've joked with him about it. He's not really a guy that gets too high or too low, which you like out of your kicker, but boy, after he nailed that 55-yarder, he was pumped. Yeah, so and that was a big confidence builder for him, not just to make it, but for them to have the trust in him to try it was really big too. I think, and what Ed Foley just said, but just to even give for Coach will be like, yep, let's go with it. I think that was big for him too, just to, hey, give me the opportunity, and then he went and delivered, and I think that's going to pay dividends for him moving forward. The conversation then turned to the punt return game, which the Huskers have not been very good at that.
They're starting to get Ethan Nation maybe ready to come in last week to return some punts. Alex Bullock has been back there. Alex muffed that one that Quentin jumped on to save a possession for Nebraska. So here's Coach Foley talking about getting Ethan Nation ready, and then about the lack of success Nebraska's had in that phase.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he's definitely growing in the position, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen with Billy, but you know, Billy was catching the ball for us pretty good, but we need work on that. We need work on that unit across the board. Like that's not like, well, we had a tough game last game. That's kind of something that we've been trying to work on and get better. And to be honest with you, like I like some of the things that we're doing on special teams. I don't like where we are on punt return, and we've got to keep looking at things. But Ethan is a dynamic athlete that can do it. Alex had trouble with the wind a little bit, and just judging if you have never caught a punt before, it's hard enough, and you get so many looks off of a live leg during the week, and he's not the starter. So I'm giving a lot of reps to Billy. Now Alex is transitioning to try to get some reps, and the practice field and the indoors and the jugs, and there's different situations. It's not easy, and that wind, the wind is a certain. It blows a certain way on the field, and then when you get above the goalpost, it's a whole different ball game. So the ball goes up and it kind of kicks around a little bit and comes down. So there's a certain art to that. So we got to. That's part of it. But there's times early in the year where Billy has had an opportunity to catch the ball, and we just haven't blocked for him. And it's been a couple of different guys that haven't got it done. We've moved some personnel around, so that's a work in progress for us on that punt return team to just keep making strides with. Everything that we're doing. We look at everything that we're doing every week on every unit, but that one's we're still working on that one.
Yeah, because you feel so good about the way that the kicking, the kickoff, the field goal unit, the punt with Brian Buschini, and that's the one area, the punt return, and when you are able to, I mean, just going back to what Ramir did against Minnesota, how big was that in that moment? And when you're able to set up and give good field position, especially for an offense that has had some struggles getting going and moving the ball, like just giving them a good opportunity and field advantage, that's certainly something to keep an eye on. And I talked about this on the broadcast hour. I was telling you during the breaks, Ethan Nation was going to go, but they didn't get another opportunity with a punt with Purdue punting. But I can't wait. I want to see what he can do, because I know we've heard. And then in high school, he was electric back there. And so I would love to see him get an opportunity, because it could just be a huge game changer if you can have somebody that can make some plays back there and set up your offense.
One guy that's certainly had a good year is Brian Buschini. And here's Coach Foley talking about his punter, who has just been tremendous all year long.
Yeah, he's been great. Like he if you look at him after the Colorado game in the punts where he's placed the ball and his hang times, and he has had one punt with the wind where I said, let it rip, and it was that 59-yarder the other day. It was he's like, Coach, but it's on he knew it. He was like, Coach, I'm going to pooch this ball because I don't want to hit it in the end zone. I said, you've been pooching enough balls now. Let this one rip and let's see where it goes. And the thing went 60 yards. The thing was that would have been a 75-yard punt if the ball was back any further. And it was about a 4.8 hang time. So I've limited him, but it's the situations that have limited him to where his number, I'm not a numbers guy when it comes to the punt. If you got a punter that's out there and he's putting the ball, in the spot that you needed to put, and you're making hits like Mondo made, where the ball's caught and we're hitting him right away, you got some operational things that are working. That punt was placed perfectly. It was into probably a 15-mile-an-hour wind, and it went 44 yards with a 4.4 hang time, and gave Mondo enough time to go down there, get released, and make that play for a net gain of 0. So those are the things that we're really focusing on. And if you look at him over the course since Colorado, he's missed hit some balls. Sean, don't get me wrong, but he has really done a good job of putting the ball where we want it to go, and and going and fielding it and making the play.
He's also had arguably one of the biggest hits of the season, right?
He did. He got our NCPA hit of the game one time.
That was great. But I go back. I interviewed Tristan Alvano after the game, and I asked him about that, about the duo of him and Buschini, and he also brought up Marco Ortiz, but just that whole unit, how much pride they take in that. I mean, it can be such an individual thing, and you're sitting over there, and I think, I guess my point is Brian Buschini's done a great job as a leader of that group too, and how they're instilling, like, we gotta do our part. And, you know, we've heard how much the coaches have bragged on him and how great of a leader he's been since they've gotten here. But, you know, I think you can credit to just how he's also tried to help Tristan along too, even though he's not the field goal kicker, but the things that he's done to try to help Tristan along too. He's doing a lot of good things for this football team.
Great leader. Folks, Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. Our Halloween show continues next.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today. Lease a 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew STX 4x4 for $419 per month for 36 months and 7,500 miles per year. $3,000 down or trade equity, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. And experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Security deposit waived. Tax title license extra with approved credit. Expires 10/31/2023.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Both Farmers and Division I athletes are alike in that every year, every season presents a new opportunity. That is nothing new. Aurora Cooperative does what they always do, embrace new opportunities. They focus on their roots and continue to stand strong with their farmer owners. These core beliefs are much like those of committed Husker athletes. Aurora Cooperatives relies on their value of a strong work ethic to get any job done for their producers. When you choose Aurora Cooperative, you're choosing a winning team that's dedicated to the success of our local farmers. Go Big Red and go Aurora Cooperative.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we prioritize our customers and promise an honest experience from start to finish. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and experience for yourself why we are Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us. Sid Dillon.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. 5 reports of polar bear on the loose.
Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hubbard here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
That's a good song. A little bumper music back in. Hey, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there's a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. The folks in the chat room did not appreciate my pirate sound going into the last break.
I thought it was outstanding.
I thought it was fine. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful.
You know, I'm pretty impressed with your Halloween festiveness.
I'm a festive guy.
Yeah.
People know that about me.
I mean...
Quit laughing back there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Boy, the Texas Rangers all over Arizona early 5-0. They lead that series 2-1 in the World Series, so big start for the Rangers. Bruce Bochy's done an amazing job as their manager. He's taken 3 different franchises to the World Series. That is a pretty rare feat for him. Folks, get out and visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 3rd. Get yourself entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa game on Black Friday in Lincoln. We'll throw in some pregame tailgate passes. To do so, go see True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus and Fall City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter, and you may be a winner this season. 402-413-2400. Went long in the last segment. Need to take a break. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall. The tractor that is the one for all.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
We're back in... I need to lay out for a second. Forgot about the theme music. When's this? Yeah, kind of gave me hair standing up on my neck. Listen to that. We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. On our text line, Sam in Omaha says, Greg, love the hat. All you needed with the cowboy hat was sunglasses, and you'd be Coach Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! How about that?
Coach Prime would love that with the Husker power and the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would. I think he would do that.
How many Coach Prime costumes do you think there were this year?
Bunch.
Yeah.
And I bet there's a lot of people walking around wearing a Michigan top and acting like they're videotaping things.
And I bet there's a lot of Taylor Swift / Travis Kelce couple costumes.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Good call there. Tomorrow night, we will have our volleyball shows tomorrow because they travel on Thursday. Huskers are headed to Penn State to play the Nittany Lions. Hour 2 for Coach's show tomorrow night. Jessica will be hosting. JB has a prior commitment.
Yes. So excited to be back on it. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah. So it should be fun.
You can just tell this fan base right now can't get enough.
Yeah.
With that team.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're fun to watch.
They are, and they're so good in that too. And had Jalen Reyes on the dig this week. If you missed it last night or didn't listen to the full podcast out, it is out on all of our podcast platforms. But that's what he said. You know, we can play game or we can play matches and say, oh, we didn't do this right or didn't do that right. And in all reality, you don't want to be playing your best right now. It's kind of like basketball. You want to be peaking at the right time. You don't want to have already hit your peak. And so the fact that, what this team has already done, and there's still so much more room for this is just, it's unbelievable. They're so great. They're so fun to watch. And it's scary that they're not even as good as they could be.
And no seniors.
Scary.
And they're good theme for that tonight. Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I know who probably is Coach Prime that I would be Crypto. I mean, he's a big fan. Yeah, he's a huge fan. Yeah. I mean, he's got a man crush on Coach Prime. All right, so John Cook Show tomorrow night. Jeremiah Searles will play part of his Sideline Slice podcast tomorrow night as well. We'll all cover all the day's headlines tomorrow night as well. Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Thanks to Camden and Nicole, who stuck around tonight, and all of you. Be safe out there. Happy Halloween. Be sure to say trick or treat. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse Lincoln is bringing you the premium lineup of Lincoln SUVs. Shop all 4 models and be immersed in quiet luxury, craftsmanship, and state-of-the-art tech. Lease a 2023 Lincoln Corsair for $699 per month. Find us in store off 144th and Giles Road or online anytime at woodhouselincoln.com. 36 months for 10,500 miles per year with approved credit. Tax, title, license extra. Security deposit waived. $1,500 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at sign-in. Offer expires October 31st, 2023. See dealer for details.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for